que le DuTcH sur le rythme.
Yeah, so the name Dutch came from, I used to call myself the Flying Dutchman. Yeah, a bit cheesy. But yeah, I think I started calling myself that like when I started making music like 6 years ago. Um, and basically, I kind of got it from like folklore and what's it called? Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm sure you've seen the movie. It was the Flying Dutchman in one of the movies. So basically, it was like a metaphor of sorts, because in the movie that ship was kind of like a phantom ghost ship um, in the waters or whatever, and like just does whatever the fuck it wants. So I kind of used it as a metaphor, like if music was like the ocean or whatever, um, I would be like the phantom bad boy ship or whatever, just like rogue, does whatever and it's just badass sort of vibe. I found it quite cheesy at first, or like I found it cheesy now rather. Um, but at first I thought it was like really cool and stuff. But then like yeah, I think like after after a while, it's like my full name can't be like the Flying Dutchman, so I just shortened it to Dutch, and that's what people call me now or whatever. So it kind of just stuck. So yeah, that's where that name came from. My music is, I would say, predominantly like hip hop and hip hop R&B, but like I'm influenced by like a lot of stuff in terms of the sound right now. Like I listen to a lot of dub house. I listen to a lot of deep house. I listen to obviously a lot of hip hop, predominantly that. But I like to get like you know test myself out and try to push my sound and stuff. So like even the music that I'm making now is very like electronic dance with like trap infused in it. It's just like a whole lot of things. But like predominantly hip hop and rap, I would say, is basically the easiest way to sum it up. But I also do dabble in some EDM and trap and electronic sounds from time to time. Um, but yeah, that's basically like my style. Influence. My dad influences my music a lot. When he was younger, he wanted to be a music producer as well, but like his dad was like, no. So he's always like playing records in the house, or like he knows that I do beats now. So like we'll like sit down on YouTube for like a whole afternoon, and he'll go through. He'll just be giving me like samples and stuff that he likes. So like a lot of like 80s, 60s, 70s sort of like soul music, soul and jazz and funk. So like a lot of those records have influenced how I look at music, like the sounds. Um, and I also obviously sample that stuff to give it more of like a modern feel and stuff, but it's really like giving me some sort of like a bass. Um, I also think people in general, like my friends and stuff, like sometimes I'll go out to the club or whatever, and I'll just stand by the DJ booth for like an hour, like just seeing what people are vibing to and like what makes a hit, what doesn't make a hit, um, when is the right time to have like the drop and all of that stuff. Like so, like I do that a lot when I go out. And obviously my friends will like expose me to new music and they influence that sound as well. And I think in terms of influence, like there's a lot of producers that I'm like listening to right now, like obviously you have your Jay Dilla from like way back, Kanye, like Metro Boomin, like all these young guys, Southside, TM88, all these American guys that are like doing like the big sound right now, which is trap and stuff. They influence a lot because you try and obviously catch the wave, but give it your own vibe and stay unique, so you're not just like almost like being a gimmick or whatever. Yeah, so yeah, that I think that's pretty much the influence. I worked with a guy called Simba Tags and another guy called Reverb. All these like Zim producers, Maximus, T Collar, and Soko, like these guys were in the States and in Zim obviously, and like all of them like influenced my sound, and because I think we obviously came up with the same sort of like vibe, and we work together like a lot. So yeah, I think yeah. Well, as like a upcoming producer, artist, or whatever you wanna call it, I think the biggest struggle is well for me because I just finished my honors like a few weeks ago or whatever, but I think one of my biggest struggles is trying to balance like the school and trying to be as committed to the music. I think early on that was kind of like a struggle, but I figured it out. And it's all about like timing and managing your time effectively. Like you can never really um, doubt or like make excuses and stuff. And I think that's another thing that happens with like upcoming artists and stuff. Like this thing takes time. Like you just have to be persistent at um, perfecting your craft. And I know a lot of the times, like I think like early on, like I wouldn't like release stuff or whatever, and people will be like, "Yo, when is the new music coming?" Oh, you're not really focused on the music anymore, huh? It's not like a because obviously people try to put you in a box, so some people just don't have expectations of you, but like you should use that as drive and the fact that people actually want music. Like at the end of the day, it's a passion. You love it. It's not like it's all about the money the whole time. Like I just generally love doing it. Like um, it's just a natural sort of vibe. But yeah, what did I say to you? Yeah, like just keep get going at it. Like I think for me, like I've been making beats for 6 years or whatever. But like once you've done your 10,000 hours, then then you're gonna be okay. Like um, just keep making relationships, go out to clubs, link up with DJs, get their contacts, and especially because this industry is very relationship driven, and and you have to be consistent at that and not give like two shits about people's egos and stuff like that. Like all of these big artists have somewhat of an ego, so you just have to be able to handle that and not think you're bigger than the artist or whatever. Um, I think those are the main things. So being persistent at your craft, firstly, relationships, and I think the most important thing like now is to be able to brand yourself because it gets bigger than the music. You get into making like your own shows, like launching your own shows or doing pop-up shows. And for me, like I'm very like into fashion and stuff, so like right now I'm looking into like doing merch and collaborating with people and like doing pop-ups here and there, and it's also a way of getting revenue, and it's also a way of spreading your brand and your music, and that just like gets a bigger following because it's unique and stuff. So I think people need to think about their brand, like it's not just about like releasing a song every time or whatever, and you're not following up with anything like that will stick in people's minds. So that and like a lot of visual content and owning your own spaces and stuff like that is what I can tell upcoming artists, I guess. My music is all like, I think the best way to say it is positive energy. Like, um, it's all like very like upbeat and fun music, and obviously, I mean like when I'm making a beat or whatever, and if I come up with a hook, um, it'll obviously be what I feel like I want to sing to in the club with my friends, or like something my friends will say, and I'll be like, that's something cool. Like, I'm sure you would know. Like, we all have crazy stories with our peers and like people we meet and stuff. And I think music is like a dope way of sharing those stories, sharing where you're from. Um, and obviously, I've been influenced because been to a lot of like places and stuff like that. So it's kind of like encompassing all of that and spreading your message because it's you're telling your story, but just in like musical like palettes, like your music is painting a picture of um, the sort of character you are and the things you like to do and the things that affect you, things that you find fascinating and stuff. So I think that's basically what I'm trying to communicate, and also for the kids, like I do this for the youth, like just to inspire them as well. Like if I keep going at this or whatever, like it might convince that kid who was told that he can never like succeed at producing or to do music. And the dream is like it's real. Like it just takes its time, but once it sticks, it sticks. You just have to be able to, keep at it and always have positive energy. So yeah, I think that's basically the vibe of my music, just positive energy. Yeah. I am not a performer, actually. Um, and I know I've been like, um, people always ask me, why don't you DJ and stuff? I generally am more like a behind the scenes guy. Like, I don't really like putting myself out there too much. And yeah, like, I mean, it's not like I rap. So I won't actually be performing anywhere or anything like that. But um, yeah, I am like, oh, that'll get to the next question, I guess. But like, yeah, I have not performed. Um, Venues, nah, I'm not gonna get into any of that drama. And yeah, yeah, I'm working on so much right now. Especially that I'm done with school for now. Um, I would say who I'm working with, but I'm working with a few big artists. Um, One in particular is very big, and I'm excited for what's coming. Um, but you'll just have to wait on that, I guess. Yeah, I'm doing like a lot of like submissions and trying to work with artists for their albums right now. That's what I'm busy with. Um, Not just here, but like focusing on the States market as well. Um, yeah, so it's pretty much like South Africa and the States where I am working in terms of like producing for people and stuff like that, and building the catalog and trying to get these hits, you know. Um, and then I'm currently working on an EP right now that I want to drop in September, maybe October. It's like a summer vibe. I initially wanted to drop my album around that time, but I'm gonna take more time with it because there are specific people that I want on there, and it will take like a bit of a process um, to do that. So, and I think maybe like that'll come like closer to the end of the year or early next year. But yeah, working with, obviously, with Radio Fiend, the artist that I work with, I produce for. Um, she has some exciting stuff coming as well. Um, then I'm working on, like that guy I was telling you about, Single Tags, I'm working on his album. He's worked with people like Burna Boy, Wizkid, and a whole bunch of people in like West Africa and stuff. Um, and then yeah, so EP album. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. And also, like I was telling you, like working on the brand that is DuTcH, or I might come up with a. I'm trying to come up with like an actual movement that'll move into like the merch, like I was telling you, apparel and pop-up shops and stuff like that, just to make the music stick and just do something unique, and like videos and visual content. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm working on now. I am not currently signed, but something something exciting might be happening in the next few months. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say anything, but like we are in talks with a major label. Um, but I am also trying to set up my own like independent front, like I was saying, for the brand and stuff. Um, I don't think I'll call it a label, but more of like a creative agency that, just encompasses like everything, like from design to artwork to visuals to music, obviously, and clothing. Because those are like, I guess, my essential like things I'm passionate about. I'm like all encompassing and just doing like something dope for Zim kids and obviously African youth, I guess, just something fresh and cool. Um, but yeah, also working on some things, but we'll see. We'll see when that time comes. But yeah, thank you so much. Hey, I really appreciate it. Thank you for reaching out.